As we all know that in chapter 4 there was no live events except for this advertisement in OG season, and almost no storyline, neither background of characters in addition. Then in chapter 5, modes where you can't even shoot were released. New guns had bullet drop that earlier only snipers had, and the map became very realistic and monochromatic, what's not in Fortnite style. But now compare it to current game state. High quality events every season, in 2 of 3 new modes you can shoot, all weapons are hit scan, map became a lot more colorful, and battle passes now are not soulless. Every of these scenes were in old and loved by many players Fortnite, mostly in first 2 chapters. In this video, how Fortnite is returning to its roots and the problem with it that will make you miss chapter 5. Why do we need a storyline and how it changed now? What is happening with Fortnite's online count? And a few predictions for the future. So if you want to support me, you can redeem my supporter creator code, subscribe and leave a like. Firstly, about importance of original Fortnite characters and storyline. If you are thinking why do we even need them, answer this question. Why do you buy collab skins? In general, it's because you like these characters and then you use them because of it. Between you and Fortnite original characters can exist similar relationship, if you will know enough good quality information about them, what makes your gaming experience a lot more interesting. Now, what means that the battle passes aren't soulless now? It means that the characters that you can get in these passes are now more interesting and understandable, because we started to get some information about them in events, trailers and Fortnite's social media, instead of what was happening in chapter 4 and 5, when almost all characters were not well interesting, unless of course you read the most interesting details and NPC dialogues. And trailers of these seasons were not telling anything about its characters. The most important thing is that your automatic understanding of Fortnite's world became a lot better than in previous chapters, where you were able to learn something about it only on purpose. Just remember chapter 5 season 3. In launch trailer of this season, skins from Battle Pass just arriving to Fortnite on this ship, and Megalodon is very cool. That's all. You can watch it by yourself. Now let's look on the trailer of the new season. New interesting duo of rappers. Pickle even was promoted by Fortnite social media and has interesting story. Raccoon dealer with interesting skin and black market design. There is also a girl with an unusual cone on her head and her own black market, which just by playing you can tell she is into chemistry, having associated with it cosmetics in the past, and her skin is great. Now let's compare story events. Chapter 5 season 2, short explosions. Chapter 5 season 3, almost the same. And now 2 last events. Chapter 5 season 4, interesting and unexpected fight with giant Doom. Yes, it has no explosions but cool cinematic. And now last event, chapter 6 season 1, very epic long fight. Yes, it too has no explosions, but I think it's a lot more interesting than in the first 3, and you clearly can see a progress here. Maybe it's not that much, and it's not a level of chapter 1 and 2, but it's something in comparison to chapter 4 and 5. For chapter 6 season 1 we even had 2 trailers, cinematic and gameplay, which was not seen from chapter 5, and an animation with Jade and a cat. Recently we haven't seen this much effort from the developers, and this treatment reminds me chapter 1 and 2, when you were able to see that Fortnite loves its characters and storyline. They even started to do short cinematics for new non-collab skins and guides for new features, just like old times, what really shocks me. At last I want to admit that the secondary styles for skins in Battle Pass started to change characters more than in chapter 5. In the gameplay of Fortnite's main mode, returning to the roots is depicted by hitscan, which in addition allowed to unvault old guns regularly, because it would be strange to unvault Mammoth pistol with hitscan when there is only bullet drop weapons available. In this case, it would have to be modified, what takes time, so it would be harder to unvault old guns so often. If we look more on a larger scale, we can see that the map became a lot more colorful. Such an an important old core mechanic, which is boss fighting, moved to another level. And in general, more crazy well thought out items started to pop up, like in old times. And it is only what we have now. In the last for gameplay, I want to count returning of the Zeppatron to OG mode, what was really unexpected. Now let's talk about modes in game. From the start of chapter 6 we got 3 new modes, which are OG, Ballistic and Brick Life. Ballistic is a shooter and an OG is a highly anticipated mode by many players. What is really contrasting with the situation in the last chapter, when we got 3 new modes that have no connection to Fortnite's main mode. Looking up on online count, we can see that Ballistic and Brick Life followed the path of rocket racing. What's really sad for first mode especially. But an OG mode has a very serious hype around, what is expectable. And continuing about online count, if we compare online of chapter 5 and 6, after almost 4 months of chapters release, there is a dip between chapter 5 and 6 in 1 million players. And this is very shocking at first, because that in the chapter 5 when we got a boring map, bullet drop, modes that are not connected to battle royale, and the developers were clearly doing things not in players' favor. Just remember legendary New Year shops. But I think answer here is simple. Online is an indicator for how often and how many people play the game. And if we look at the list of most used skins and at the fact that online count is stabilizing in summer, we can understand that most of this count is a people aged from 10 to 14 who just play Fortnite all day, creating bigger part of this online count. And how I think they don't really care about such things that I was talking earlier in the video. They play this game because of hype that was huge in the end of 2023 and start of 2024, because of OG season, popular, Peter Griffin, and experiments with metaverse and a new chapter. Just look on Google Trends. But this is only my theory and I don't want to offend these people. You can write your thoughts in comments. Now we know that Fortnite was more successful in the last year by online count, at least on long distance, because player count on the time of remix season event eventually beat old record. Well, and taking into the account the fact of online going down on long distance, is it good that Fortnite is going back to roots? And what I think about chapter 6 in general. Firstly, I think that online count is not an indicator of quality, but a popularity, so I would not judge by it. But popularity can come from good and bad things. In the last year, Fortnite was on the top of social media because of experiments with OG season and metaverse, what are, how I think, great things. And in this year they chosen not to make these big experiments, except maybe for kicks, which were released even in remix season. What really upsets me, because I love Fortnite for its diversity and unexpectancy, but making too much experiments like in chapter 5 is superfluous, what you can understand by the hate of the community. So the developers should now find a balance between things that are new to players and the ones they are used to. And I think they are trying to do that now by releasing very uncommon and short Star Wars season into not the most active time for game, May month. Or maybe the developers just moving short format season from November to May to avoid GTA 6 release this autumn. In conclusion, I think that it would be cool if Fortnite will be going back to the roots in the world of Battle Royale, because it is what makes it interesting. But in general, I want them to not be scared to make experiments and not associated with Battle Royale modes that players will really like and play. Well, and not forgetting about OG mode quality, while abusing the players' love for this mode.